Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Test, check, check. Just making sure you can see me and hear me clearly. So if now I know it's been running. No? Okay. Okay. Once again, good afternoon. This is Luis Magalong. I'll be your host this afternoon for our Moving Beyond Crisis series, part 5. And now we are concluding this series as we come up with the new topics for next week. So if you can hear me clearly, just hit like or do a comment. Allow me to feel your presence right now by saying hi, doing a shout out on our comment page. Okay, so once again, before I start, allow me to show you our campaign video. So let's watch this campaign video.
The number of coronavirus patients in the country reached 10,610. 1,991 health workers are infected with COVID-19 with 34 deaths to date. Please support our cause to protect our frontliners. We are seeking your help through Burden to Breakthrough.
Okay, it's a video. It's a video of our campaign right now. B2B Burden to Breakthrough. So I hope if the previous part or previous series has been helpful to you, I hope you would support our fundraising campaign as we create swab boots, face shields, face masks, and PPEs to be donated to our select hospitals. So this is to protect also our not only the frontliners but also the people who would be undergoing the mass testing. So it's one of the strategies of the government, and I hope you would help us in this. So please, if you would really like to help us or help on this campaign, I hope you would PM us for details, and later I'll show you the account details. No, okay. So Just few further announcements. No, next week we'll come up with a new series or new topics, but also off air. If you would, if it's okay, just PM us your if you have some topics in mind that we could probably discuss. So we have in line speakers later, which will be announced as we end the series. And also would like to thank our partners, Icon Graphics, PEME, AIB, Elevation, Magalong Talks, and Mr. Prudy Verso. And if you know this can be helpful for others, please tag your friends if you know this would be helpful for them. So our topic is about adapting to the new normal. And what else? Meron ako lang nakalimutan sabihin, yeah. Just for fun later, no? Just for fun. Probably you can, ano, diba? Like from last week, no? Just tell us what are the unique things you've done during this quarantine na hindi nyo pa nagagawa, no? So share with us your PM. And also, we would like to acknowledge our participating group. One of our partners, the Philippine Ports Authority, headed by Mr. Their GM. Sorry, nawala ako no ano, no? Yeah, just and Philippine Ports Authority has been supportive, in support for us. Yes, our GM, Philippine Ports Authority GM, Mr. J. Daniel R. Santiago, and together with their Human Resource Management Department Manager, Mr. Mark John S. Palomar. Hello, sir, mga boss. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing your team to be here. So if you're from PPA, just post a shout out, say hi. Okay, to others, I know marami nag-register na from other groups. So say hi. Allow us to acknowledge you on air. All right. So once again, I'm gonna show you what we're really doing. So vertical parallel is existing to provide you with holistic training, um, things that would be helpful for you. So allow me to show you another video of what we really are and what we're doing and why we're doing this. Oops. Oh, sorry. Okay, so thank you. Once again, allow me to introduce our speaker this afternoon. Uh, Thank you. Okay? Yan. Those are videos. So if you like to know us more, just DM us. And so now I won't take any more. Let's not pause for. Okay, so allow me to introduce our speaker this afternoon. She is one of the partners of Vertical Parallel, and he's a married. She's married. Medyo na-tense ako, di ba? No? So she's married with a daughter, no. Iba talaga pag may anak, no. And anyway, parang may mga times na gusto mo itapon, no. Okay, sa kalikutan, no. But anyway, she has a daughter, and she allow me to introduce one of the partners and also my boss at home, Miss Jenny Magalong.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. How are you? Natitense po yung boss, yung staff ko, named Luis Magalong. Okay, so good afternoon. How are you? So today is May 21st. Can you just imagine? We started like parang kakasimula lang ng taon, and then a lot of things happened, and now we didn't realize something big will impact our lives coming March. Actually, it started like December, January, and January of this year. And then eventually we felt it this March because of the lockdown. So anyway, okay, I'm Jenny Magalong. So I'll share with you already my presentation. So while I also continue introducing myself. So hold on for a bit. Okay, hold on. We lost the PowerPoint. Okay, hold on for a bit. I will just request Luis to assist me because I'm not as techy. So, okay. So our topic for today is about adopting to the new normal. Okay, so paano ba mag-adapt to the new normal? Actually, it's really hard to state what the new normal is. So before and foremost, no, while Luis is fixing my presentation, once again, I'm Jenny Magalong. I'm a corporate trainer, public speaker, an organizational and development consultant. And I'm doing consultancy of HR and OD for some companies. So I also conduct training programs. So what are these training programs that I do? I do productivity management, workplace management, culture building, values formation. Since I came from a financial industry, I also teach finance and sales. So medyo all around siya, no? So I've been in the training for quite some time. I started when I was just 10 years old. So I already gained at least 15 years of experience. Aba, hindi kayo naniniwala. Okay, so hold on. With that, adapting to the new normal, there are so many questions that comes into mind. What is the new normal, and can we really adopt to the new normal? Okay, so I've set for objectives for specific topics to cover this adapting to the new normal. But before that, okay, before I jump into the discussion, okay, let me just acknowledge our previous speakers. No, for series 1, it was Luis Magalong who conducted um, the first series, and then of course we had the visioning workshop. I hope you learned so much from Mr. Prudy Verso. Hi, Kuya Prudy. Thank you so much for your support. And of course, also our rock star, very good friend, Ian Barcelona. Hi, hello, Ian. I know you're very supportive. Thank you so much for helping us. Okay. And then series 4, okay, he talked about mental resiliency in how to handle stress. Okay. So that was discussed by Mr. Cleve de la Calzada, also one of our mentors and very good friends. Thank you very much for helping us. And now to like culminate the first part of the Moving Beyond Crisis. So I'm conducting the 5th series. Wala po silang ibang choice. Gusto lang nila akong maging guest speaker. Chos. Okay, so just trying to make you smile. So this again are the objectives that I would like to share with you. We have little time to do this. It's really, I wanted to do and share with you, teach you as much as I can, but this is the new normal, so we have to adjust. But I'll try my best. I hope you get something worthwhile of your time. And I would like to acknowledge later on yung mga nanonood po. Hello. I can see all you are later. I'll try to say hi to you. And okay, so let's proceed now. So our objectives, embracing the new normal. Okay, what was our life before COVID-19? So actually, the normal then, you can easily browse your phones, your gadgets. There is a history or a record of what you have been doing for the past months before the pandemic happened. So, ano ba yung mga yon? Tingnan nyo yung feeds nyo, yung stories nyo, yung Facebook nyo, yung Instagram nyo, o yung mga pinost nyo sa YouTube, okay? Or even check your calendars. Yung mga nag-ipon ng planners from Starbucks, from Coffee Bean, no? O, so alam nyo na, ang dami nyong ginagawa for the past months. Kaya ang dami nating activities, gatherings, birthdays, anniversaries, coffee, dinner dates with our family and friends, no, events, and even attending trainings such as this. Okay, it's our new normal that we're actually just conducting training using technology. So, is it easy? Okay, March 16, this is the scenario of the normal then. Okay, this is the scenario. In March 16, okay, the government announced the enhanced community quarantine. So it was mandated, okay, to actually prevent the spread of COVID-19. Okay, then dumami yung mga checkpoints and dahan-dahan naging stricto, okay? So enhanced community quarantine, if we are still in this state, okay, malamang mas marami pa yung cases. So now talking about the new normal, the post-pandemic. Okay, I'm not saying the pandemic is over. It's still there. Okay, the virus is still there. There's no vaccine yet. They're testing. There are different countries who's experimenting and trying to find the solution in the vaccine to finally end this outbreak, no? So, kung ayaw mo lapitan, kasi ngayon ang hirap pag lumabas ka, pumunta ka sa grocery, may binili ka, pumunta ka sa drugstore, okay, yung mga tao ayaw lumayo sa'yo. So, this is one recommendation that you can do, no? You can use a hula hoop. Yan. So, sa tigas ng ulo nila, I saw rants in Facebook, no? Ang titigas ng ulo ng iba, ayaw mag social distance, okay, or physical distance. Pero masyado tayong ano talaga, no? We're really into that. We're very sociable. Okay, so the new normal is actually telling us to practice physical or social distancing. So actually hashtag social distancing. This will be the new normal. And this is not going to happen for the next 3 months or 6 months. Maybe we will carry on with this new normal until next year and for the next 2 years. We don't know yet. Okay, so because of that, okay, since we need to protect ourselves, ito na po yung mga pupuntahan natin. Actually, we saw that already for the past months, right? Because small businesses have to continue operating their businesses. Yung mga convenience stores, even supermarkets, restaurants, they need to find ways to protect, okay, the sellers, okay, for us to be able to continue our operation, our business operation. Okay. Ito, para dun sa mga taong hindi nakakanood ng balita, uy, may virus pala, no? Ito yung pusa eh. Hindi niya kasi alam, hindi siya nanonood ng news, hindi siya informed. Ikaw naman, because of overly exposed information, information, no? Dami mo nang alam. Ganyan tayo pagbalik natin, okay? Work started, we went back to work this Monday. So ganito tayo ngayon. Takot na tayong lumapit sa kapwa natin. And of course, the other new normal things that we are observing for the past months is of course the travel. Okay, travelers, no, we cannot do this as of the moment. Travels has been suspended for quite some time, and we don't know when it's going to go back to normal. Okay, I want to share with you, because we're talking about the new normal, I want to share with you what are the strategies, the plans, the thoughts of some of the CEOs, chief executive officers of the top corporations around the world. Let's see how they view it, and maybe we'll learn something about it. And I'll share something also useful for us individually for this, okay? So the CEO of General Motors said, allow me to read it, please. I will briefly share high-level review of the safety procedures we are putting in place. This applies to everyone entering our facilities. Where our coronavirus safety protocols have been in place, we have not seen a confirmed case of community spread, okay? And then the chief advisor, CEO Stephen Coffer, said, in this pandemic, even those with the ability to take the trip are not going on the trip anywhere at the moment. And when the restrictions ease up, will likely much more stay domestic. Okay, so these are just some realizations. General Motors is thinking of safety. TripAdvisor is actually, there's a precaution, and there's no gradual movement yet in terms of transportation, okay, or going from places to another places. Okay. How about ExxonMobil CEO Darren Woods? He said, despite the current uncertainty and volatility, the fundamentals that underpin our business remain strong. Okay, we still have to study a little bit of economics here. Okay, why do I say that? We know that in the coming decades, populations will grow more than 9 billion people by 2040, up from just over 7 billion today. Billions of people will enter the middle class and seek lifestyles and products that require energy. Economies will expand once again. Okay, and Amazon, I liked his perspective. If you're a share owner in Amazon, Bezos said, you may want to take a seat because we're not thinking small. Okay, under normal circumstances in this coming second quarter, we'd expect to make some 4 billion or more in operating profit. But these aren't normal circumstances. Instead, we expect to spend the entirety of that 4 billion and perhaps a bit more on COVID-related expenses, getting products to customers and keeping employees safe. So ExxonMobil is one of the biggest multinational of gas and oil company in the United States. Looking at the current crisis, there's no one moving and no one is using their vehicles. Okay, he still sees something positive about the situation. While in Amazon, they're moving their business to COVID-related expenses to move their products to customers and, of course, keeping their employees safe. So we're learning something from them. Okay. And then finally, o baka nabobore na kayo sharing about the thoughts of the CEOs. Okay. So Microsoft Corporation, Satya Nadella, okay, said, as COVID-19 impacts every aspect of our work and life, we have seen 2 years worth of digital transformation in 2 months, from remote teamwork and learning to sales and customer service to critical cloud infrastructure and security. We're working alongside customers every day to help them stay open for business. Okay, and of course, everybody knows Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook. He said, I like this part. Overall, I think during a period like this, there are a lot of new things that need to get built. And I think it's important that rather than slamming on the brakes now, as I think a lot of companies may, that it's important to keep on building and keeping on investing and building for the new needs that people have, and especially to make up for some of the stuff that other companies would pull back. So there's an opportunity to the crisis where in Microsoft, of course, obviously, we're in technology. So maybe they're also taking advantage of the new normal. So what is the new normal? Just to recap my own personal observation of the new normal. So kung wala dito yung iba, you can also share with us, put it in your comments. Okay, the new normal, there are advantages and benefits of this pandemic. Yes, we're suffering, we're experiencing the negative impact of this pandemic, but at the end of the tunnel, there's a light and there's an advantage and there's a benefit. So let's try to figure out, maybe not now, but something from here you can get it. Okay. And of course, social distancing is the new practice, is the new normal. So we're moving into technology. That's why we're talking about digitalism. And because pandemic is a health emergency crisis around the world, safety and health will now be a priority. Okay. And then telecommuting or work from home is also a flexible work arrangement that businesses can do. Okay, supply chains will recalibrate. Okay, when we say supply chains, no, sabi ko nga kanina, we need to study a little bit of economics. Sabi nga natin, babagsak yung ekonomiya ng hindi lang ng isang bansa, kundi all the countries maybe around the world. Okay, supply chain is talking about supply and demand. Okay, because of the disruption, okay, because of the business interruptions, like for us in this country, we paused for 2 months. Okay, and then we're going through different phases of what the government is trying to tell us to do, like MECQ. No? So there's movement in supply and demand. Maybe there's more limitations right now because the business are not back in operations. Okay, next, of course, we're changing our lifestyle. So because everyone is into digital, everyone is into technology, there are things that we don't need anymore, and there are things that we might need more right now. Okay, and then for education, by the way, hello DepEd. Thank you for joining us today. So hello to the teachers, to all the teachers joining us today. So homeschooling is another option because of the new normal. Well, it's a very good topic, and there are a lot of people trying to do webinars as well about homeschooling, how we can do this. I'm actually a proud homeschooler. I'm also a teacher of my 5-year-old daughter, and it's a good opportunity for me to experience that. And then, of course, everyone is into online shopping and online learning, such as this one. So it doesn't limit us that we can still shop, not physically. We can still learn, not physically also, but there's a platform that we can use. And of course, as I've mentioned, limited travels. And the new fashion trend is, of course, ang QOTD natin ay face mask and face shield. That's how we are right now. Wala tayong magagawa po dyan. Okay. Moving to our next topic. It's time to adopt and embrace the new landscape. Okay. There is an opportunity in this crisis. Okay. When we see there are mass temperature checks, there's face masks, face shields, empty training rooms, empty school rooms, workplaces are empty as well, or limited people are outside. There's something there that we need to embrace. Change. Change is such a big word, right? Mahirap magbago. When we talk about change, it's like asking somebody, a right-handed person, and you ask that person to use left and write the same way, the same pattern, the same technique when using your right hand will not be the same. Okay, change is awkward. Change will make you feel alone. Change will tell you there are things that you need to sacrifice for you to be able to change. And change means you need to exhaust some resources that you didn't actually thought of um, using before, okay, or maximize before. And then there are different levels of readiness of people in terms of change. So hindi pwedeng pag sinabi mo, mag-change itong kaibigan mo, ikaw sabay din kayo. So change is about readiness. Okay, but there are things that people are not willing to do it because it's hard to change. Change is actually a process. Change is not just constant. Sabi nila, diba, change is constant. No, change is a process. There has to be some structure, may mga paraan, may sistema para magbago ang isang bagay. Hindi siya pwedeng ganun lang, nag-change na. I think only one can do that. Only God can do that, but not us. Okay? So change is something that we are fearful to do or to act on. Why? Change gives us uncertainty of failure, right? Fear of failure and fear of uncertainties. Okay, but when you come to look at it, okay, if you see the bigger perspective, the brighter part of change, it gives you an opportunity to grow. So there are two kinds of people looking at the lens of change. So a person who is a pessimist and a person who is an optimist. Says here, a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. Ibig sabihin, kahit anong sabihin mo sa kanya, wala siyang solusyon, kundi nakikita niya lang, wala tayong magagawa dyan kasi ganito siya. Actually, pessimist is actually a person who always gives an excuse, in my own opinion. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. It's easy to say that. We're in that situation right now that the crisis is so big. The crisis is not just about one person, one family, one organization, but it impacts everything else around us. Okay, macroeconomically, it impacts our lives, right? Okay. So change, pessimists would think change is a threat. Okay. An optimist would think change is an opportunity. If you look at these 5 things about change, as I've mentioned earlier, change would require you sacrifices. What are you willing to sacrifice? Okay. And then it requires you resources. And again, as I've mentioned, readiness. But you know what? There's one quote that I really like about change. Tony Robbins said, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Okay? It only simply means to say that we're not willing to change if there's no pressure, if there's no external force that requires us to change. Okay, so the pressure has to be there. There's a tipping point, okay, for us to be able to change. And the problem with changing our behaviors, changing our perspective is that we are naturally risk averse. Okay, what is risk averse? Risk averse means we're naturally conservative. We're naturally not willing to take the risk all the time. Okay, we'll step back and look at the situation. If we have an option, we will not change. Tama po ba? Okay. So questions to ask when conducting change. Since I said change is a process. Okay. If you want to change, you need to address the problem. Okay. What is the need or problem I have in my business, for example? Number two, okay, how much will this really affect me, my community, my organization, my clients, my customers, okay, even my friends and family. Okay. Number three, what will be needed from me throughout this process? So again, it's about resources and the things that you need to sacrifice on. And fourth, who do I need support to go through this? Okay, this is not a one-man team. I hope when you're going through this change process, you have a support system like your family. Okay? So what is the number one opponent of change? Ito yung pinakamahirap na part. Okay? Kaya tayo nahihirapan. Okay? Kasi ang kalaban natin ay ang sarili natin. So cages aren't made of iron. They're made of thoughts. If you're not willing to make that decision. Okay? Things are not always what they seem. If you look at the picture, the deer isn't crossing the road is crossing the forest. That's an optimist perspective. And like that, diba, we're talking about paradigm shift when we're talking about change. It's not easy. This illustration is not new to most of you. If you look at this glass, okay, you see half filled water and half empty. Okay, if I ask you right now, what would be your answer? Is this half empty or half full? It depends, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are wrong. It's just a matter of perspective. Some people will think it's half full. Some people will think it's half empty. No one is wrong. It's just a matter of perspective. So just like this image that you can see on the screen, the deer isn't crossing the road. The road is crossing the forest. So there's a light. There's a positive perspective about it. Okay. Models of change. When we say changing, okay, this model of change has been designed in the 1970s to better understand the behaviors of smokers when they want to change. Naalala nyo, beginning of the year, every beginning of the year, naggagawa tayo ng New Year's resolution. Parang ganun din po yan. Okay? But this model of change started to study the behaviors of smokers. Okay, paano ba nagbabago at nagkukwit ang isang smoker sa paninigarilyo? Okay, because smoking is an addiction. Okay, so this model has been used not only for smoking but for other kinds of behaviors as well. So when we say pre-contemplation, okay, when we want to change, we pre-contemplate or we're in the denial stage. Like in this pandemic, do I really need to change? Do I need to come up with something to be able to recover from this crisis? Kasi nahihirapan na kami. Okay, you're in the denial stage. Contemplation means you're contemplating if whether to do it or not. Is it going to be worth the sacrifice that you're going to do? Okay, sometimes you hang so much in contemplating that you're not willing to prepare. Okay, when you prepare, it means you're willing to do something about changing a certain behavior or changing your lifestyle or changing your point of view of business. I need to do something for big business, for example, or changing the way I teach, for example. So there has to be some preparation. And of course, when you prepare, you need to do some actions. You know what? Ano yan eh? It depends on the kind of personality sometimes we have. So There are people who will jump right away into the solution part, the action planning part without a preparation. So I suggest that you look at everything first. Yung sinabi ko kanina, resources, okay, the readiness, okay, before you jump into the action. Okay. Action. Action, this time around, you are willing to take the risk. The question is, are you going to carry on and continue if there are struggles and challenges along the way? Ganun naman most of the time. Pag mahirap, quit na. Okay? Pag mahirap, ayaw mo na. Okay? That's the hard reality that we need to face. So check again, what are the things you are willing to sacrifice for you to be able to do it successfully? And then finally, maintenance or sustaining the change. When you do the change and it becomes a habit, a normal practice, then it's not something new anymore. It becomes a norm, okay? A normal practice. It becomes a lifestyle. It becomes the new process. And in this crisis, sometimes all you can do is just hang on. Tama po ba? Wala tayong, minsan, nasa loob tayo ng bahay natin, quarantine tayo for the last 2 months, and we cannot imagine how we're going to move forward in this situation. So allow me just to encourage you, di ba? Hang on lang. Kapit lang. Okay, kaya natin to, di ba? Lalaban tayo. Hindi kayo nag-iisa. Tatandaan niyo po yan. Marami po tayong nandito sa sitwasyon na to, and kailangan lang natin magtulungan. Okay, so this training, this webinar is also there to at least give you a little bit of inspiration or motivation to just hang on. Okay, so can I ask you to look at your screen right now? Okay, nakasmile ba kayo? Alam niyo, yun yung pinaka-contagious. Okay, walang bayad. Okay, pag nag-smile kayo. It gives a smile in your heart, not just in your faces. No? Smile kayo. Open nyo ng konti yung bibig nyo. Okay, ganyan lang. Ganyan. Okay, ready na kayo? Pipicturean ko lang kayo. Okay, ready? 1, ganyan na. 2, 3. Yan. O, di ba? Okay, at the end of the day, we always have to look at the positive side of things. Okay, wag namang sobra. We also have to assess, evaluate what's really happening, and we have to do something about it. That's why I'm sharing to you about we need to do something. We need to change, okay? So you can make it. You can go through it. Moving on. Marcus Aurelius said, the wise man accepts his pain, endures it, but does not add to it. Mahirap na, wag na nating dagdagan. Tama po ba? Okay, so we need to find something that will keep us going and growing. If you're going to commit yourself in doing something different, there are learning strategies. Okay, I'll give you 3 letters. So learning strategies para hindi tayo mahirapan, no? DOI. Okay? Again, learning strategies, 3 letters. DOI. Do, observe, interact. Okay. This is our learning strategy. What you're doing right now is you learn by doing. Okay, you learn by doing, evaluate where you are right now, evaluate your situation, and you do something about it. Number 2, O, observe. Okay, other people are doing something and taking actions already. Okay, in their current situation. And that is we learn by observing others. That's number 2. Number 3, okay, because we lost the physical relationship, the physical interaction with people, we can still interact using different platforms such as this. Okay, you can still communicate. And if you want to really change, like let's say for example, you want to do something about your business, Okay, you take time, okay, to interact with the right sets of people. You talk to them, look for business opportunities, okay, you look for possible resources, talking to them online. So ibig sabihin yung mga nasa sales, hindi pa tapos. It doesn't mean that we're not physically meeting our clients. It doesn't mean hindi na tayo makakabenta. Okay? So there are a lot of people are into technology, and there are a lot of people are interacting with each other using the technology. So we can still do the online selling, for example, and talk to our customers. Okay, just don't forget that you have to build and establish your credibility. Okay, when you're doing business online. Okay, because we also have to be assured or secure that your business is also legitimate. So yung mga young people who wanted to do online selling, okay, just make sure that you establish relationship with your first set of customers, and then you build it up. Okay, wag yung parang okay nagbenta kayo online, yun na siya. Okay, because nowadays we also have to be careful. A lot of people are scammed. So we have to be very cautious about it. Okay. This one, I really like this quote. I think this is so me. Okay, you cannot grow unless you're willing to change. You will never improve yourself if you cling to what you used to be. That is so true. So after contemplating and then contemplating, later on you realize you don't really want to change. Ayaw mo mag-diet, ayaw mong magpahaba ng buhok, ayaw mo mag-ayos kahit nasa bahay ka, okay? Or ayaw mo mag-isip ng other business opportunities. Okay, kung tinatamad kayo ng online schooling, nasa sa inyo yon. So it's a decision that you have to really make. Remember, again, the cages are not outside or not fences. It's actually inside our heads. So the decision is yours to improve and to change. Okay? So we'll move to the second part. This second part is actually one of my core expertise. I really wanted to share this, but there's a limitation for this one because not all of you would be into safety management. Okay, so I would like to share some of this, but there is a resource speaker that we're going to have next week who's a safety management consultant, which we're very proud to be part of this moving beyond crisis. So he worked for decades about safety management and is accredited from Dole. So I'll share with you about it later on, no? But I'll share a bit so what can be useful for us right now. So what we're doing is reducing risk exposure and safe work practices. For the past months that we're in quarantine, actually I was given the chance to actually study this. I'm a safety officer and also a HR head of a company that I've been taking care of for 6 years now. And I'm really proud, but it's also on a big obligation and a responsibility to do this at this moment in time. Okay, pag gumawa po ng mga safe work practices in different organizations, it depends, okay, on what kind of industry you are in. Okay. When we talk about safety, of course, safety is non-negotiable. Okay. Safety right now, you cannot go outside and compromise your health because everybody else will be affected. Your family, your children, your spouse, your parents. So hindi po siya simpleng, uy, pumasok lang ako sa opisina, baka ma-aksidente ako. Now, safety gave us a bigger notion, idea that we really have to take care of ourselves to be able to take care of others as well. So the question of do you value your life? Of course, we value our life, di ba? Okay. One good example of of safe work practices, or when we say safety is non-negotiable. So when we sell life insurance, okay, sorry, people prefer to buy non-life insurance products than life insurance products. Ano ba yung mga non-life insurance products? Those are insurance for our physical assets, our our properties, like our house, our cars, no, our buildings, whatever we owned. Okay, pinapa-insure natin yan. Kasi alam natin na hindi yan forever. At may risk. Okay, may na-expose siya. Okay, sa risk na pwede siyang mawala. So, kumuha tayo ng insurance policy for that. Tama po ba? Okay. But which is more important? Those non-life assets or our life? Okay, ano po bang mas mahal? Yung bahay niyo po ba o kayo? Ano po bang sa tingin niyo mas may value? Yung bahay niyo, yung kotse niyo, o kayo? Okay? Wala pong amount o halaga ng pera ang makakapag-equate sa buhay ng isang tao. Tama po ba? So, that's why when you buy an insurance, no, you can buy as many as you want sa life insurance. Kasi wala namang magsasabi sa'yo na, okay, halagang 1 million ka lang o halagang 200,000 ka lang. That's why we need to secure ourselves or our families. No? So, safety is really non-negotiable. Okay, with that, okay, safety has to be standardized, not just for businesses, but also at homes, also in our schools. When we say standardized, we need to implement some protocols, some practices, some rules and regulations, enable for us to conduct safety and health every single time. No one can prevent that from happening, the accidents. But no one will also know unless we are at least ready or we have some protocols to safeguard our people, our students, our family, right? So when we talk about safety, safety should be a mindset first and foremost. Okay, safety is not just for one person. Safety is not just for employees. Safety is for everyone. Safety, when you say safety, hinahanap yan. Okay? Yan ang objective mo. Okay? When there's guidelines, everybody has to follow that guidelines in order for people to be safe. Like in a construction, okay? May mga safety and management procedures that you need to follow. Okay? Ensure safety, teach safety, and share safety. So kami, okay, as a safety officer, safety consultant, okay, we don't just teach safety, we also have to share it to other people. Okay. So what can I share with you about safety? Okay, safety, the reason why we're doing standardizing safety is because we want to prevent and reduce transmission among employees, okay, or among places where we belong in our organizations. Two, okay, to maintain healthy business operations, okay, and three, maintain a healthy work environment. Okay, so I'll give you steps how to do this to simplify this safety. Okay, because if you ask me, medyo madugo po. Some organizations will have a book of safety management protocols. Some would have like 3 to 5 pages, and that would be enough. So to simplify it, DICM. Okay, so if you would like to do this even at home, is you develop, implement, communicate, and monitor. Okay, again, D stands for develop, implement, communicate, and monitor safety. Okay, as a safety management and an HR practitioner, so these are the things that I actually did, okay, or crafted for my clients. So I wrote safety controls and safety management programs, basic infection prevention measures, policies and procedures for prompt identification and isolation of sick people, workplace flexibilities and protections. So we cannot do that, all of this right now, okay? So, pero meron pong mas maganda dyan, no? Yung next speaker natin, mas i-detalye niya. But for some reasons, I would like to share a portion of it. Okay. Nakita niyo na po ba to? I'm sorry. Okay. This is what we call hierarchy of controls in occupational safety and health standards. Okay. And occupational safety and health standards, okay, this is the hierarchy of controls. And there are 5 steps in this risk pyramid. There's elimination, substitution, engineering controls, administrative controls, and PPE. So yung nakita nyo po kanina, katulad nito, napakahirap gawin nito. Okay? Or you need to do some research for you to be able to craft this. Okay, so if we're talking about schools, we're talking about small organizations with having less than 50 employees, you still have to do this, even with 10 employees. You still have to practice this. So depende po ang safety and control and safety management program sa industry ninyo at sa risk involved ng inyong organization. Okay, so you have to assess that part. And I highly recommend for companies that you have not just your HR personnel, but also your safety officers. Safety officers are the ones who attended and completed the occupational safety and health standards training that can help you come up with this and monitor as well. Okay. But for some reasons, no, so I would ask you to if you don't have one, a safety officer, for example, consult a safety consultant. Okay, they're the best people who can help you and teach you how you can do this. Okay, so the occupational risk pyramid shows the exposure risk level of different companies. Okay, ito po ay pag tiningnan nyo po siya, simple lang po siguro nitong gawin. Okay? So, elimination, substitution, okay, engineering controls. Yung nasa baba po, okay, the x-axis, the effectiveness, or yung elimination to substitution. So, greater cost and greater expense, okay, in the part of organizations. Okay? Ang less risk and less cost is yung nasa taas po, yung PPE. Okay? So companies, when you say elimination of exposures, the most effective control is to minimize social interaction, okay, of people in your workplace. Okay? When you say substitution of activities, okay, there has to be like core workers that needs to stay in the office. They need to be physically present in the office. So ito po yung work flexibility schedule or yung skeletal workforce na tinatawag. Dito natin siya pwedeng ipasok. Okay, engineering controls, for example, so of course you're going to improve your sanitation, your isolation, and then there's a safety areas such as visitors lounge. Only employees are allowed to enter the office premise. Okay, those are the things that we may think of about engineering controls, or yun po yung mga sa mga ventilations, improving systems, okay, or equipments that we need to install in our company. Okay, when we say administrative control, of course we're talking about limiting, again, yung social distancing in the office and putting a lot of efforts to actually introduce social distancing in our organization. I'll show you in a bit. And of course, PPE. Okay, PPE is not just for health workers. PPE is personal protective equipment, and it's for safety. So, for example, sa construction, ang PPE nila, nakikita nyo yung mga safety vest nila, and of course, their safety helmets and masks. So, yun po yung PPE. But for now, because of the pandemic, we also have to use PPEs right now, like facial mask and yung pang-cover natin, no, or face shields. Okay. And then, of course, when you mean to communicate the safety standards in your workplace, in your business, you need to do some measures like uh, email, like printouts, posters, to remind everyone of the safety protocols. And don't get lazy on that. Kasi minsan, nakakalimutan po yan ng tao. So, kailangan ano lang tayo, consistent and constant tayo sa reminders natin. Huwag tayong mapagod dyan. Huwag tayong maumay na lagi tayong nagbibigay ng mga paalala how to safeguard themselves against the virus. Okay. This one, I'm not selling this. I would just like to share that these are some of the engineering controls that companies can actually adopt. Okay, ano po ba itong mga to? Ito ay tinatawag na sneeze guards, okay, or acrylic glass barriers. Okay, our friend Icon Graphics are actually doing this. So sa mga restaurants, sa mga banks, okay, they're actually installing this to minsan kasi matigas ang ulo ng tao or hindi naman natin ma-prevent, 'di ba? So we're already adopting this kind of equipments in different places. So itong sneeze guards na to, no, meron din yung parang divider para sa mga offices, and of course the social distancing stickers, just to give you few examples of that. Okay. And of course, number 2 is to adopt flexible work arrangements. When we say adopt flexible work arrangements, do we really need to do that? Kasi of course, for schools, you cannot do flexible work arrangements because some people are of course, students are not required to go to school, but maybe for some paperworks, some critical personnel might be asked to go back to work. But flexible work arrangement has been recommended by DOLE. Okay, flexible work arrangement is to help ease, 'di ba, yung business operations natin to actually revive. Nawala tayo ng operations for the last 2 months, and it's not going to be easy. For the next months, for the next quarters, hindi siya ganun kabilis babalik tulad ng dati. So adopt flexible work arrangement as of the moment, because the government has been mandating us to follow quarantines, no? Enhanced community quarantines, whatever you call that. Ang dami na niya, no? Ang dami ng terms, nakaka-confuse na. But whatever that may be, the flexible work arrangement is actually there, okay, recommended for businesses to save jobs. Marami pong nawawalan ng trabaho. And even employers don't want to 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 use that option. Okay? Ayaw nila na mawalan ng tao o i-let go yung mga empleyado. But for some reasons, hindi po madali ang pinagdadaanan ngayon ng mga businesses. I'm also part of it. So mahirap i-sustain ang business operations. So the one way a business can at least sort of recover, pasimula muna, is to adopt the flexible work arrangements. Okay, to just keep things operating so everyone can go back. So when we say flexible work arrangements, yan po yung skeletal workforce. So everyone is not recommended to go back to work. Not 100% of your employees. According to DOLE, no, or to the government, at least 50% of our workforce are required physically. But it's up to the employers to identify, kailangan ba 50%? Or some people can actually work from home. Okay, that is one option. So everybody's still working, but we're limiting the people going outside. So meron tayong movement control method or system na ina-adapt doon. Okay? So this flexible work arrangement is one way to cope the business and a remedial measures to actually be able to recover from the financial difficulties that our businesses are experiencing at the moment. Okay, so kaya as much as possible, tulungan natin yung companies natin to recover. We need to understand everybody needs business, everybody needs to earn, pero kailangan lang po talaga natin magtulungan. We need to cooperate. And of course, we aim sustainability. Okay, in safe work practices. At the end of the day, our business is still there. We're still hopeful our business will go back to 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 how it was before, but we need to be sustainable. What does it mean when we say sustainability? When we say sustainability, we learn that we need to love our works right now. O, love na natin ang trabaho natin. Dati nagko-complain tayo. Dati gusto natin na mas maraming holidays. Ngayon, ayaw mo na. Sawang-sawa ka na sa bahay ninyo. No? But as employees, and of course, a reminder to employers, these are still what we're looking for. Because of the crisis, we're now looking for a safe and healthy workplace, a safe and healthy work environment. So that should be a priority of companies and organizations. Number two, as employees, we're still, of course, we're looking for job security. At some point, nag-aalala tayo, naisip natin baka mawalan tayo ng trabaho. So we just have to continue what we're doing. So we still have to be productive. You still have to do what you're supposed to do. Okay, I think you need to do extra mile this time around. Okay, and of course, it doesn't mean it's an excuse for organization to forget about the career development, the learning and growth. You have more time now if you're working from home. Maybe you have a window to actually learn and grow. Just like now, you have an opportunity to actually learn online. Before, pag pumapasok tayo, 8 to 5, pag nasa school tayo, papasok tayo, and then later on, we don't have enough time already for online learning or trainings. You can filter, you can choose whatever is workable and something that could help you address your growth. Also, dapat meron na kayong developmental plan, individual developmental plan. So, kung hindi yan nagagawa ng managers nyo, tulungan nyo rin yung sarili ninyo, di ba? Okay, and then of course, inclusion and diversity, remote work options, and of course, managers who care. Okay. Moving on to the third part is productivity and efficiency. Productivity and efficiency, we're talking about distractions as well, because distraction has become a habit for most of us. So for example, ngayon, nanonood po kayo sa akin ngayon ng webinar na to. Okay, it's so hard to stick to your screen watching all throughout 1 hour or maybe for some longer. Okay, so we're at home. We're at the comforts of our home. So there are a lot of distractions. Ano yung mga distractions nyo? Kung kayo ay nagko-conference meeting, o kaya ay meron kayong training katulad nito. So you can use your phone anytime you want. So your social media access is unlimited. So you keep on checking a lot of social media platforms. Okay, your house chores is part of your to-dos. So those are also part of your distraction. Okay, and sometimes ito nakakatawa to, yung workplace natin, okay, sa dining room, sa sala, sa higaan. So kahit saan yung workspace natin, no? And the reality is, another distraction na pinakamahirap gawin ay tayo ay stressed, tayo ay worried, tayo ay fearful kasi hindi natin alam kung ano yung mangyayari. Okay? So what makes us think that we can be productive and efficient in this time of crisis? So ang hirap, di ba? So, but it's important that you remember it's your decision to make. Okay? To do something about this. You have the ability to work things, to get things work done, okay? So it depends on your attention, okay? You just have to do an attention management technique. So kung halimbawa, nanonood kayo, if you need some distractions, of course, you can do that. But remember, you just have to go back and you need to finish what you started. Okay, so let's get to know more about it. Okay. Again, this is what I do for organizations. When we talk about productivity of growth and results, revenues, we're talking about the bigger picture. Tinitingnan natin, okay, ano bang gusto? Ano ba yung goals? Ano ba yung ginagamit yung practices? Ano ba yung activities? Like for example, sa sales, may goals tayo. Okay, paano natin mahihit yung sales natin? Ano yung sales activities natin? And how much are we willing to reach? Okay, ano ba yung target sales natin? Nagbago ba siya because of this pandemic? Because of the new normal? What's going to happen now? Okay. Now, it depends on in which organizations you are. I cannot answer for now if there has been changes. Okay, some companies and leaders might be thinking of strategies, okay, to lessen the pressure or to lessen the KRA, hindi na tawag na KRA or key results areas or simply as quota, production targets. Okay. Kung nasa admin naman tayo, we're not talking about targets and sales. We still have to do some paperwork. So how do we monitor that? There has to be some procedures and activities. And at the end of the day, you need to deliver the results, right? Okay. So for me, it's important to know the process and the results. So how do we do process and results? I give you 3 steps. POS. Okay, ang hilig natin sa acronyms. No? Okay, POS, problem, opportunity, and solution. Okay, for you to identify your process and your results. P, what's P? Problem. Problem or concern, not necessarily a problem. Huwag natin gawing problema ang hindi naman problema. Tama ba? Okay, discover and define. Okay, what are the things that you need to address, that you need to provide solution? Turn these problems into questions. And from that questions, you can actually look at the challenge. Okay. And then opportunities. Okay. What are the opportunities for you to be able to come up with the solutions? Remember, Sir Ian Barcelona talked about SWOT. Okay. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So from there, pwede nyo pong hugutin yun. Okay. What are your strengths? What are the opportunities, external, physical, that you need to work on that? So you have to define it and develop that. And finally, come up with a solution. And that solution has to be developed and has to be delivered. Okay, the problem is we have a problem, we have an activity for your opportunity to be able to come up with a solution. Okay, the question is, will you be able to develop and deliver the results? Okay, so let's go back to the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Okay, mas marami ba yung planned work mo sa intended results mo? Or you want to focus more on your intended results than your planned work? So sabi nga ni Sir Luis, no, during the first series, okay, begin with the end in mind. Okay, begin with the end in mind. What's your goal? Okay, so if you are going to ask me, you have to detail the activities that you need to do. Okay, at the end of it, monitor your progress and then check the results. But how do you do that? Okay, the problem with that is no matter how good you are in doing your task to do, okay, and then you want to check, okay, were you able to do it? Okay, you have to understand that it's a process and it's about results oriented. Process is how things are done, and results are what gets done or the output. And the output has to be monitored through your progress. You have to monitor your progress. So how do you monitor your progress? So monitoring progress is you need someone, okay, that you will be accountable to deliver that progress report. Okay, remember, you have to help, you need to ask someone. But when you monitor your progress or your development, okay, you have to be honest. You have to keep records and you have to take responsibility of the things that you are going to deliver. So for example, in a day, ito yung mga gagawin ko. Okay, I need to report this to my supervisor, to my manager. These are the progress. In that sense, okay, you are productive. So if you ask me how productive I am, that we will not know unless we see the percentage of work for this and for that versus this and versus that to compare if you're productive or not. So we need to see some results or track report, okay, for us to be able to identify if you're really productive or not. But the most important part, I think, for me, for productivity is your accountability. Okay, so your accountability, you're accountable to someone. You're accountable to report your progress or your development or your output to someone. Okay, and that person will deliver that, okay, to the higher ups of your organization. If it's personally, of course, you can just do your to-do list and then check daily what you need to do. We have the liberty to relax a bit in this time while we are in quarantine. We have the liberty to just balikan ko na lang yan mamaya. Okay. So again, pag wala kang accountability, walang nagche-check sa iyo, then you can always say bukas na lang, mamaya na lang. So it's only up to you. And then when we're talking about productivity, we're also talking about stretching ourselves. Okay. Stretching your strengths and abilities because of the challenge. Are you willing to stretch yourself to grow of that challenge? Okay, try something new that requires a different approach or new skills. So, kung nahihirapan kayo, baka meron kayong kailangan na tulong sa iba. Kailangan yung mag-training as well. Kailangan yung magtanong sa mga supervisors ninyo. And so you have to build that relationships as well with your supervisors, with your mentors, with your family to be able to stretch yourself at ano pa yung mga kayang gawin ninyo. Okay? And again, go back to the accountability part. If you're saying you're willing to stretch yourself to grow, you're still accountable to someone. Hey, tingnan mo, ito yung progress ko from here to there. Okay? From here to there. Don't let this uncertainty paralyze you. The problem with us when we are pressured is that the uncertainty gives us blind spots. No? Tayo ay natataranta, nagpapanik, napaparalyze tayo. Okay, the psychologists call this as a status quo bias or big fish, small pond effect. Okay, it's because we want to provide solutions right away when we see the problem. So nagpapanig tayo. So you have to get away from the problem first and see the outer or the external perspective of it. Magtanong kayo sa family nyo, sa kaibigan nyo, sa co-teachers ninyo, sa bosses ninyo or supervisors ninyo, how you can come up with a possible solution. Remember, medyo may informality tayo ngayon kasi we're talking in a social media. Unlike pag personal tayo nakikipag-usap sa tao, nahihiya tayo sa boss natin magtanong, no, sir, medyo na-pressure ako dito sa hinihingi mo sa akin eh. So, but now, no, because of the social distancing and using social media to communicate, no, medyo nagiging informal tayo, mas nagiging relaxed tayo. So, we can have that opportunity to ask. Okay? So, again, for you not to be able to be uncertain or paralyzed rather of the uncertainty, look at the bigger or broader possibilities, your bigger options. Okay. Innovation. At the end of the day, for us to be productive, we have to see that possibilities exist. Okay. Just like a child, when I look at my child, my 5-year-old child, pag wala siyang ginagawa, okay, pumapasok lang siya sa isang kwarto. Okay, hindi siya nagpapanik. Okay, iniisip niya na lang to be innovative and do something of her time. So later on, I'll realize when I check on her na nagbi-build na siya ng Legos niya, naglalaro siya on her own, doing something productive. For her, it's productivity. So for us, there's always a possibility that exists. We just don't see it right away kasi stuck tayo dun sa loob. Di ba? My inner circle and my external circle. So if we're in the inner circle and that's the stress point, that's the pressure point, you have to go to the outer circle for you to be able to see what you can do about it. Okay? And let others help you as well. Okay, the opportunity to exercise that freedom is available to all of us. Just easy. It's not easy to move in uncertain times, but we need to do something about it. We need to innovate. So to recap rather, our productivity and efficiency. To recap, we are talking about performing high into focus. That is one, prioritize, which really matters most. Two, what are the things that you really need to do to accomplish more? And three, let's monitor and expect outputs or results. What needs to be measured? Okay. And finally, just to share with you, this is Jeremiah 9:23 and 24. At the end of the day, it says here, thus says the Lord, let not the wise man boast his wisdom. Let not the mighty man boast in his might. Let not the rich man boast in his riches, but let him who boasts in this, that he understands and know me, that I am the Lord who practices steadfast love, justice, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, declares the Lord. So at the end of the day, it's not all about us. It's not about our strength. It's about who God wants us to be and how we can recover from this crisis. So finally, the last portion is adopt and recover. I'm hoping that you're staying up with me. There's so much things that I want to share with you, and I'm sorry if I extended a little bit, but I'm there. I'm almost there. Malapit na po. Okay, so adopt and recover. So at the end of the day, if you're not needed outside, don't go outside yet. If you're not going to be productive, you're not going to be helpful, tulungan natin yung iba. Okay, marami pa pong maaapektuhan kung tayo po ay nasa labas. Kung wala tayong maitutulong, tulad ng sabi ni Martin Luther, you stay at home. Okay? And then, all of these things, this is an adversity, and it's a great deal of adversity for all of us. And we're not going to change. There's no tipping point, okay? There's no turning point for all of us to be able to succeed in this, if not because of this adversity. So the question is, gaano ba kataas yung adversity quotient natin? So you will find that out. You yourself are facing that battle. So kailangan isipin lang natin na we have to rise above the crisis. Okay, so the question is our ability to level up our effectiveness, or our ability to accept the changes, okay, that we're facing right now, is how we use the lead, okay, or what kind of lead are we using? Bote lang ba yan? Balde ba yan? Drum ba yan? So it's only up to us, okay? So we need to rise above this. And again, John Maxwell said, no, fail forward. When achievers fail, they see it as a momentary event, not a lifelong epidemic. So this is not forever. This too shall pass. Okay? And there are many things that we need to learn, to do, to act on. There are things that we need to change. Okay? So failing forward, it means we have to look at the risks that we need to take. Maybe there are risks that we need to take. We need to learn constantly. Okay, kung tinatamad tayong matuto, well, there's a problem to that. We need to accept failure, but we need to do something about it. Okay, and our ability to make decisions is really, really important. Your ability to make decisions, to move forward, and to do something about your situation is only up to you. Okay. So again, your family is the best team you could ever have. You love your family, you have so much time with your family, you give them that, okay? Pag pumapasok tayo, when we go back to what we call the normal then, okay, babalik tayo sa 8 to 5, okay, 5 days a week, and we don't have so much time for our family again. We still have excuses. So I hope we don't give that excuse anymore. And let's not forget, if there's a will, there's a way. Okay. And finally, okay, a last piece of wisdom that I have learned today that I'd like to share with you is the 3 P's. Pandemics need prayer, perseverance, and purpose, not panic. Yes, it's true. It's easy to say, I'm also panicking. but I think my prayer is bigger than my panic, my doubts, and my fear. So at the end of the day, I will try harder, work harder, and I will know that I have a purpose to serve. Diba? Meron tayong family na sineserve, meron tayong family na gustong alagaan. So that's our greater purpose. Okay? So in Romans 5, verses 3 to 5, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. Just like how we discipline our children, diba? We want them to learn something, and that's the character that we would like them to learn. Discipline, for example. And this time around, in this time of crisis, it forces us to adapt to the new normal. It forces us to persevere more, and that's a good thing, right? It forces us to develop that character that we never thought we have. So at the end of the day, the hope is in Christ. We cannot do it by ourselves alone. So we can only do it by His help. So that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you learned something. I don't know if I have not seen your questions, but because I'm over time, so I can answer your questions via email. You can email us. We mentioned that in our Facebook. And once again, I'm Jenny Magalong. Maraming salamat po sa panonood nyo. I hope you learned something from me. And this is my Facebook and my Instagram. You can look for me, Jennifer Ignacio Magalong, or Magalong Talks, our Facebook page, Magalong Talks and Vertical Parallel Asia. I will answer your questions. I would really love to answer your questions. If you have some questions, post nyo lang po dito sa video na to. I will try to answer it via email or via comments. Okay, and I would also like to again say thank you to the speakers of Series 1 to 4, Luis Magalong, Prudy Verso, Ian Barcelona, and Mr. Cleve de la Calzada. Thank you very much. And moving beyond crisis is not over. You have so much to learn in the part 2. We already have next sets of speakers, so I hope you watch that, you learn from them, and I would just like to share the Series 6 should be titled at Series 6. I'm not sure yet kung yun ang title namin, but this is still Moving Beyond Crisis. So Mr. PJ Lanot, who's an entrepreneur, host, okay, a corporate trainer and public speaker, a GONEG speaker actually, and he will be sharing maximizing resources for personal success. So watch that out next week. I think that's May 26. So ipopost po namin yung events. And then, as I was saying about safety management, more detailed for family and businesses, more detailed. It's entitled Resiliency After Epidemic, Contingency Planning. This will be taught by Sir Joel Elio, the president of PEME. And then, of course, I'm also excited for this. I'm going to watch this. No, sayang hindi na nga lang physical muna, but Mr. R.D. Abelio will be joining us on June 3, and the title of his talk is Beyond the Crisis is Back to Basics. So he's actually one of the top executive coach and speaker in the country. I hope you watch that. And of course, our other good friends also are joining us in this webinars. Mr. Joel Cruz, who is a marketing and PR consultant. Thank you very much, sir. He will be sharing something about new business opportunities that will be on June 10. And we also have Sir Efren Cruz. Okay, he's, well, you'll learn so much about finances, wealth management from him. So we'll just finalize the date for his talk, but he's after June 10. So there you go. And then of course, thank you to PPA. Maraming salamat po. Thank you to DepEd for those. Thank you to the teachers who joined us today, and students and other organizations. Maraming salamat po. I would like to say thank you to Icon Graphics also. And of course, lastly, thank you to our team. Hi to Laika. Hi, Laika Belaos. Paul Mendoza, Miko Medel. Thank you to Rod Bilolo for his vlog. And Christian and Kael, maraming salamat sa suporta nyo. And thank you so much. Hope to see you next week for our next series. Thank you all. Again, you can get in touch with me through this Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube accounts. God bless you all, and let's go to the new normal. Bye. Hindi na mag-play ng video.